Hey everyone, Ian here before we get into the episode proper. On Saturday, October 25th, I will be joining friend of the show, C.R. Rowanson, for the launch party for his new book, Spawn Point. And as part of the launch party, I will be a player in an actual play game that will be streaming live. We will be playing in a system that is based on the system that he wrote for the book. So I'm really excited to get to play. If you want to come and check out the list of events that's going to be happening that day, or to RSVP for email notifications, go ahead and head on over to crrowanson.com/launch. You can also find a link to that in the show notes below. And with that, let's get on with the show. Welcome to Undercommon Taste. This is a podcast where we create and discuss homebrew content for tabletop RPGs.
You should have read the fine print, my friend. You should have read the fine print.
I'm Ian Woodworth. I'm joined by my co-host James Daly, and today we are diving into the Dragons of the Outer Planes. So these are the 16 aligned planes in the Great Wheel cosmology, plus, is it the Outlands? The one in the middle, the unaligned one, the neutral one.
Sigil?
It's where Sigil is.
Yeah, I think it's. I just know it's Sigil. That's the whole plane is Sigil. That's it. That's all. No,
Sigil is a city within.
Outland sounds correct because I think we made like some Outlander jokes at one point.
Let's see here, doo. I happen to have all of my second edition Planescape books out on my desk at the moment.
As one should.
As one should. A lot of this is getting edited out because... or maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm just going to let everybody know just how
DMing
unprepared
happens.
I am coming into recording tonight.
Hey, this is how DMing happens. This is, I'm
it is
sure...
the Outlands. I was correct.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Huzzah.
Okay. Huzzah.
I mean, as a DM, you've never, ever, sat to the table and hey, I've got this plan, and then, you leave your notes at home, or you leave the one monster that's, you're going to build the entire session around, and it's I left their stats. Holy crap, what do I do? Shopping session, and now you're on an arena. Huzzah!
Yes. Okay. So the outer planes are the 16 aligned planes, so that's your Nine Hells, your Abyss, Mount Celestia, the Beastlands, Easgard, Mechanus, Limbo, all of those. All of the ones that we made the super long episodes on about 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah, those were fun though. I enjoyed those.
They were fun, and there are a couple of them that I would like to go back and touch on again, because the earlier ones like Mechanus and Limbo, we didn't go super deep into.
Yeah. Like
we did with the rest. But then again, I remembered just how much time and effort I put into making the notes for those episodes, and I really don't want to invest that much time in an episode again.
I think if we do that, we break it up into a series and probably do 2 or 3 with, story. Hey, here's a Planescape, here's plot, here's story hooks, here's things you can do specifically in this plane. And I said, we make it several episodes, which would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think if we focused on here is how you can build an adventure here, as opposed to how we have traditionally approached it of, this is all of the thing canonically that you can find here.
Right.
A little less info dumpy and a little more usable information. I think that would probably be something that we could do. But again, that is something for tomorrow, Ian, to worry about, because today Ian is going to be talking about dragons.
Yay, Dagrons.
So we are going to be starting in, generally speaking, the Lawful Evil quadrant. So we've got Acheron, Baator, Gehenna, and Hades. This sort of lawful evil down towards lawful neutral. The neutral evil is the neutral evil plane. Lawful neutral is Mechanus.
Yeah.
And so in my research, I found in all of the lower planes, 10 different dragons. And by dividing it up this way, we can have 5 per episode. And that is a much more manageable sized episode.
Fair, yeah.
So yeah, there are a lot of really cool planar dragons in D&D. A lot of them are things that nobody at your table will have seen before because, let's face it, not a whole lot of people went and did Planescape. Yeah. And the people who did go and do Planescape, that was 30 years ago.
The Magic the Gathering keyword you're looking for is obscure.
Archaic.
That too.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into it. The first one that we're going to be talking about is one that goes across all of the lower planes because this is the Styx dragon. It is the dragon that lives in the River Styx, and the River Styx flows from Pandemonium to Acheron, crossing all of the lower planes. The Styx dragons and their counterpart, the Oceanus dragons on the upper planes, they're much more of a water serpent style dragon as opposed to the traditional Western dragons that you're commonly going to see in D&D.
It's a Leopleurodon, Charlie.
Not quite.
It totally
it's more
would
of a
be.
Gyarados.
It's a magical Leopleurodon.
Yeah, so magical that it doesn't have flippers.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does because they can't support its body weight. I mean, if you think the arm like a whale, I mean, technically they're hands.
Yeah, I suppose. So they were originally called Shadowdrakes in 2nd edition Planescape. That's how they are listed in the Monstrous Compendium. And they, like James just mentioned, they do still have their vestigial legs and their vestigial wings, which they can use to sort of help propel them through the water, but they're not enough there to bear their weight on land. Their wings are too small to let them fly, but they can swim. Oh, yeah. And they swim in the River Styx, which, if you know anything about the River Styx, is a pretty incredible feat.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge flex on its own. It's like, yeah, I'm just splashing in the Styx.
The fact that they are able to just swim around in the River Styx and not lose their memories, because that's what the River Styx does.
Yeah.
They can grow to be up to 200 feet long.
That's too much dowry.
And yes, and up to half of that is tail. Okay. They can have up to 100-foot tails. And their tails, it's a forked tail, and they are prehensile. So they can grapple with them.
They have hentai tails. I don't like this.
And they're also tipped with sharp, bony blades that can
of course
do
they
nasty
are.
Things.
We had a magical Leopleurodon. We had magical Nessie, which was pretty cool. We had, Afterlife Nessie just chilling, and I'm cool with this. Now it's 200 feet long, which is way the hell too much dragon with half of a tail that's forked. And now it's Nessie with hentai spiky tooth tail. Yeah, this is turning into nightmare fuel.
Oh, it gets better. I say with my big going to TPK my players smile. So, among other things, they are immune to poison and disease.
Understandable.
Because the River Styx it's filthy. It is full of filth.
And I mean, you're going through the lower hells, you've got dead bodies floating in there. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they're fighting the blood war along the banks of the Styx. The Styx is how the demons and the devils get to Hades to fight one another in the blood war.
Yeah.
And so, because they are almost exclusively found in the water of the River Styx, most often you're going to come across them whenever you are on a ferry going through the River Styx, or if you happen to be walking along the banks of the River Styx. The former is going to be a much safer situation than the latter.
Yes.
But one of the things that they are known to do is they'll just slosh water at you.
Of course they do.
Because contact with the water is the thing that can cause you to lose your memories.
Yeah.
It is a guaranteed thing if you drink the water, but if you just happen to come into contact with it, you still have to make that saving throw to avoid just having a couple hours of amnesia.
Yeah. No, I like this, and I think if you were going to start an upper level campaign, like starting something level 10, level 12, level 15, somewhere in there, this would be a great starting hook for your party, Like, your party is coming back from a mission that has taken them down to the depths of Hades or Avernus or, wherever you are. You are now riding the ferry with Charon back to the land of the living. You have paid your fee. You have already, your party has already done the legendary and the impossible. And on your way back to the land of the living, one of these Styx dragons has come up and just, done a whale belly flop and flooded the craft with water, and your party has lost, they have all their memories and skills, but they have lost all memory of what the hell they are doing. And now they have to remember what they were doing, what they're who they have to turn their mission into. They've angered various parties, they've helped various parties, and so they're going to come into everything with friends and enemies. They have no idea who they are. This would actually be a solid story hook, I think.
Yeah, and there was a game concept that was floating around the internet many years ago at this point where basically everybody sits down at the table with a blank character sheet. And you have to fill out who your character is as you play based on the information that you get from the DM and from the observations of the other players at the table.
This would be a great way to start that.
Yes, absolutely. This would be a perfect way to sort of incorporate that game concept mechanically.
Yes.
Because, as is pointed out in 2nd edition Planescape, the waters of the Styx would cause memory loss, but a successful save would cause you to forget only the previous 8 hours.
Okay.
While a failed save would be treated like the Feeble Mind spell. Which, the Feeble Mind spell is pretty nasty.
Yeah. That's the one that drops your overall intel, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
It drops your overall intelligence to 1.
Yeah.
And that is in the nice version in 5th edition. That's the polite version.
Yeah.
Yeah, Feeble Mind in 2nd edition was nasty.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I found pertaining to this in particular is even if you succeeded on the save and you lost 8 hours, you would still retain your prepared spells if you were a spellcaster. But you might forget that you had prepared your spells.
Right.
Or, if you've been going long enough in the day, you might forget that you have already cast those prepared spells.
Oh, that would be a good misdirection for, again, starting where the party only knows what they have through. And so, you've cast all but 2 of your first level spells, for that day. So you're starting, so your character, you're hey, I'm a wizard, but I've got to be 1st or 2nd level because I only have 2 first level spells, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would be something to really sort of, that's an interesting approach. I'm glad that I thought of that. Because,
it's going to show up on the table.
If we can ever actually get everybody back to the table.
Right.
Because scheduling is the main villain of any D&D campaign.
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's step away from that for a second and let's finish talking about the dragon itself. Because they have a breath weapon, as all good dragons do. And their breath weapon is acidic goo.
Okay. I like it.
So it's less of a breath weapon and more of just hawking a loogie.
They sneeze on you. Okay.
Yeah. Basically. So it is a 3-foot by 30-foot cone, but the damage that it deals is lingering. So it deals full damage on the first round, half damage on the second round, and quarter damage on the third round.
Okay.
And this was also at a time where your equipment was not safe just because you had it. So it will automatically destroy leather, bone, and wood equipment on that first round. It'll destroy chainmail on the second round, and it will destroy plate on the third round.
That really is a mechanic that I find missing from 5th edition is armor and weapon wear and tear. Especially if you have the skill, you have smithing tools or mend or things like that, where it could make those really useful. And I have some personal mechanics I like using to kind of incorporate that. But this breakdown of armor weapons is something I absolutely miss.
Yeah. So it does mention that they are generally hesitant to use it because if they dissolve the creature, they can't eat it.
Yeah,
and so they're kind of like the brown dragons in that sense, where the brown dragons have that acid breath, but they don't tend to use it if you have horses because they want to eat the horses.
Yeah.
Because horses are their favorite food.
I mean, how often do you see horses in the hells, So, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Or in the desert. Because brown dragons live in the desert. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah. And also, they carry a wasting disease.
Ooh.
So if you take damage from their bite or from the blades on their tails, if you get grappled by them. Oh, by the way, if you get grappled by their tail, they get to pull you into the river.
Oh, night-night.
You are going to have a bad time.
Yeah. Roll a grapple check. Why?
It's roll a dex save.
Yeah, why?
See if you can avoid getting grappled.
Well, I'm just saying, once you're grappled and pulled into the water, you'd want to break out, but you can't remember anything, so, why? I'm floating.
Well, I think you would still have that instinct that you're underwater and you want to be not underwater.
Fair, yeah.
So you would still instinctually try to break free and try and swim to the surface.
Yeah.
But yeah, the how you got there, you have no idea. All you know is that all of a sudden you are in the water with no recollection of how you got there.
Yeah.
Which is hugely terrifying in ways that I don't really feel like comprehending right now. But getting back on topic, if you get bit or you get hit by the tail lash, so if you get hit by the blades on the tail, you have a 50% chance of picking up magical gangrene.
Ew.
The incubation period is 3d8 hours, so 3 to 24 hours, and it is fatal after d4 times 12 hours if not treated with cure disease or neutralize poison.
That can suck really fast.
Anyone who is under the effects of this gangrene, all non-magical healing checks made on their person are done at a -4 penalty, and all magical healing they receive is halved.
Yeah, that's nasty. That nasty.
It is. Yeah, so I think one of the things that I would really find interesting with regards to a Styx dragon would be like one of these adventures where you have the cult of the dragon running around and you're in a port town like Waterdeep.
Okay.
And like a group of cultists actually summon a Styx dragon into the harbor.
I could see that, because, that would take away all of obviously the River Styx part of it, which would,
right.
Would be about the only way. Otherwise, this is a plot device and not an actual encounter that your party could have a hope to survive.
Right, yeah. And it does mention in the entry in the book that they cannot be negotiated with because they do not respect anything weaker than them, and they inherently avoid contact with anything that they perceive to be stronger than them.
There is a wisdom in that, and I like it.
They are intelligent creatures, and so they should interact intelligently with their surroundings.
Yeah.
But just thinking the Cult of the Dragon summoning a great worm Styx dragon, a 200-foot long dragon just suddenly appears in the harbor and just starts shredding ships.
Yeah.
And plucking sailors off the docks and, just causing absolute mayhem.
And given personality and temperament, the fact that these weak vessels have pulled it from its domain, it's gonna be pissed.
Yeah. And it has that acidic spittle breath weapon.
Yeah.
That eats wood.
In a single,
it's gonna instantly.
Navies are screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like it.
It's going to dissolve ships.
Yeah. It's going to dissolve entire ports.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
It would take it a while because, it is a 3x30 cone.
Yeah.
It's a very narrow, very short cone. But that is more than enough. Do you do that at the waterline on a major, ship of the line?
Yeah.
They're not patching that hole.
No, but that's what I'm saying is, yes, this is going to take a while. If your party is there in combat, yeah, it's going to quote, quote, take several turns. Because, you can basically sink a ship in a turn or two. Or at least, critically damaged to the point where it couldn't be salvaged in a turn or two. But again, this would be for a very high-level party, but they get there and understanding that they were not able to stop the cult, because maybe that was the initial thing, is to stop the cult. They couldn't do it. The cult summoned this dragon. It probably wasn't what they expected. And now you have to defeat this dragon, or like all sea travel is gone forever, and anything by the ocean is gone forever, because this thing ain't going away on its own.
No, and then, add on to that the fact that it has this diseased bite. It carries this disease on its tail blades. Anyone that gets wounded by this thing and gets away is still at very serious risk of succumbing to the dragon and just dying very slowly and painfully far away from it.
Yeah. If you wanted to build this up even further and make this dragon like the big bad boss of the campaign, which it very well could be, again, your party could be coming in, and maybe like there is rumors that this port city has come under the grasp or the influence of like necromancers or stuff. So you get there, and obviously there are ranks and ranks of undead, because necromancers would probably take up the opportunity of so much dead and disease there that they can just make use of, basically free resources. And so they've set up and are driving stuff out. But the source of everything is the chaos caused by this dragon. And so you've got this dragon that is destroying ships. It's making people sick. Perhaps, just the dying bodies in the streets has caused a plague. And so now you've got this spreading plague. And then you've got some necromancers throwing in on top of that because, again, chaos woohoo. And you're going through, and it's just like concentric circles of like, well, this happened because this happened because this happened because Dagron.
Right. And, I mean, even if you don't want to get quite that granular with the city of it, what you could end up having is a situation as a quest hook of, hey, we haven't heard from this port in a few weeks. There haven't been any ships coming from that port for a few weeks. We should really go and send somebody out there to check that out and see what in the world is happening over there, because that's not normal.
Yeah, that wine shipment's past due.
And so that would be a great way to get a party into a situation where one of these dragons is present. Because, frankly, they fill the same niche as, like, a Leviathan.
They really do, yeah.
Yeah, they are massive sea monsters, effectively. And the fact that they live in a river, typically, shouldn't discourage you from using them as sea monsters.
Yeah. Though, if you had them, like, even, like, taking D&D, and, like, if they were up and down, like, the River Danube or the Rhine or something like that, and they were taking out, like, a large continental, or, like, the Mississippi, and they were taking out a large continental river, that would be an interesting take on it as well.
Yes, it would. Okay.
Nice. I like it.
I think that's enough of the Styx Dragon for the moment.
Yeah, there's a ton of potential in that one. I like it.
There is. Next, we're going to go to one that we have discussed a little bit at length before. This is the Rust Dragon. And Rust Dragons are one of my personal favorites. I absolutely adore the concept of the Rust Dragon. They are believed to be native to the eternal battlefield of Acheron. They are found there, but it's not really clear whether they're actually native or whether they are native to the material plane and just get drawn into Acheron because they're the adult form of rust monsters.
Yeah.
And so if a rust monster gets old enough and large enough, it can go back to Acheron, and then it gorges itself on the iron from one of these iron cubes that float through the void, and then it pupates, and when it emerges from its cocoon, it is a rust dragon. It is a hatchling rust dragon.
Okay.
They are not true dragons. They are simply dragon-shaped.
They're close enough.
They have a lot of similarities to dragons, but they also have a lot of big differences from most other dragons. And one of the things that I found really cool whenever I was reading back through stuff is there is an adventure hook in the Plains of Law Acheron book.
Okay.
Called How Many Rust Dragons Does It Take to Get to the Center of an Iron Cube?
1, 2, 3.
And that is the first instance that I could find where it was 100% confirmed that rust dragons are the adult form of rust monsters.
Nice. Okay. So it is now canon.
Yeah, it was strongly implied, but that is where it is confirmed.
I kind of like the idea of a bug dragon anyway. It kind of makes me happy.
Right, yeah. So some of the notable differences that rust dragons have compared to other dragons is that, one, they have insectoid wings. Specifically, they're described as butterfly wings. I would say, personally, I'd call them more moth wings.
Okay.
Just basically because of the second one is that they have antennae.
Yeah.
Their antennae come off of their chins rather than off of the top of their heads. But they are these frilled, like feathered antennae, kind of like moths have.
Yeah.
Which is also what rust monsters have, and that's how they are able to sense the presence of iron for them to eat on. And I think technically it is contact with those antennae that cause the metal to rust so that they can eat it.
Okay.
And then the third one is that their teeth are part of their carapace. They don't have, like, teeth in a jaw.
Okay.
And also they have an exoskeleton because they're insectoid.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So, yeah.
Giant bug dragon. I love it.
And while they are commonly depicted as these rust-colored, this sort of reddish-brown iron oxide rust-colored dragons, according to their entry in one of the Planescape books, I can't remember which one, they end up actually not having a set defined sort of physical appearance framework. And a lot of them take on kind of the appearance of different metallic dragons.
Okay.
So, like, they can be sort of copper dragon shaped, and if they are, then their rust that they have on them actually takes on the tint of verdigris, so that greenish, bluish color.
Okay.
If they take the form of like a silver dragon, they have like a black tarnish almost on them.
I like it.
And so one of the other very iconic parts of their appearance is that in addition to that sort of oxidized, rusty look that they have, their chitin, their carapace, has this sort of pocked and pitted look to it, you know, like metal gets whenever it starts to rust and corrode. But it is very specifically laid out that these pits are not structural weak points in the carapace.
Yeah, understandably.
Yeah, they are purely cosmetic. You're not going to get any sort of bonus by hitting them there.
Okay.
And also, in contrast to other true dragons, they don't tend to create hordes. They are pretty much nomadic. They're sort of migratory. Like a really old one, a great worm, might keep a few gems around, but generally speaking, the only things that they collect are iron, steel, and magic.
Well,
and
food.
they use them for food and defense.
Okay, yeah.
You know, because they are not true dragons, and so they don't have innate spell casting like other dragons do. So they have to find like spell scrolls or magic items to use magical abilities.
Now, imagining summoning a swarm of these like locusts on Mechanus.
Yeah, that would be nasty.
Yeah, that makes my evil druid heart happy.
I mean, the thing that I am really keen on, and it's only at the forefront of my mind because of the current season of Tale of the Manticore, where we have Fim, who is the character that I voice, and the gnome, I think it's a gnome, that he is in the tower with, going around in this iron tower that disappears and reappears at different points in the plot line. Imagine having to get into one of those, you know, summoned iron wizard towers, because it is a spell.
Yeah.
It is an older spell that conjures this tower made out of iron. Imagine you have to get into there, and you can't get into there because it is a magical tower that is magically sealed and all that. And you just summon a rust dragon or two.
Just chew a hole through the top. It's like a gingerbread house.
It's like, hey, if you can get me inside, you can have the rest.
Yeah, good deal. I'll take it.
And so, rust dragons do have breath weapons. The first one is a line of acid. It's just a very simple line of acid, you know, full damage on a fail, half damage on a save. And the second one is really cool. It is an oxidizing gas.
Yeah,
so
I like that one so much better.
Yeah, and it's on the same sort of lines as the acid spittle breath that the Styx dragon has. So any metal caught in a 75-foot cone must make a save or be disintegrated.
Nice.
Magic items get a bonus on this saving throw, but everything metal in that cone is save or crumble away to rust.
Nice. And again, going this a wicked druid, I could see a wicked druid sitting there and getting, like I said, a small swarm of these to do it. Because again, they're going to be wearing wood and leather and hide. It wouldn't affect them.
Oh, yes.
So yeah. This makes my blighter heart happy.
Honestly, I can see somebody summoning a couple of these in Sharn, in Eberron.
Yeah.
As a way to combat an approaching army of Warforged.
Oh, God. I was just thinking that would ruin so many characters.
Yeah.
Oh. Nice. That's vile, but I love it.
Yeah, imagine, if you would, just sort of going way back, hopping into the Wayback Machine. Back when we had World Build with us, the whole crew on, whenever we did our tandem partnership episodes.
Yeah.
Way back. And we had the mechanical walkers in the jungle that were clearing everything.
Yeah.
And then the, what was it? The Bloodthorn, those sort of druidic sort of nature magic entities that were fighting it.
Yeah.
Having a rust dragon on behalf of the home team.
Yes.
To take out these constructs, that would be devastating.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that would be. Oh, yeah. I want to put that on the table so bad. Oh, I need it.
Yeah, and just think of the chaos that would ensue if you just summoned a rust dragon into the middle of a city.
Yeah, whole economy's just wiped out.
Oh yeah, especially the more magically inclined, like the higher tech cities, because a lot of them are using metal as the basis for all of their construction.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of organics involved in all of that, typically.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, a single rust dragon in a city would be catastrophic.
Absolutely. Yeah, because a lot of people, when they picture their quote-quote magically advanced, the brain tends to lean towards steampunk. Which, I mean, makes sense. And yeah, absolute havoc. I mean, it would absolutely tear everything apart, which is kind of wonderful. It would be a good way to reset everything. I think that would be a good world reset, almost, much like a nuclear weapon would be for us, and then the Rust Dragon showed up.
Yeah, and even, because a lot of them are also sort of a crystal punk kind of vibe, because very common themes are these arcane crystals that are used to power everything. But what are these arcane crystals suspended in? Metal cages.
Yeah.
Metal Faraday cages, basically, that contain the crystals and mount them into things and conduct the arcane energy from the crystal into the things that it's powering.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you
What happens when that filigree cage goes away?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
release all of that arcane energy haphazardly throughout the entire system.
Yes. The other thing, too, is, I mean, yeah, you have these giant, magical crystals. These are crunch berries to these things, so they're just going to come through to chomp on them anyway.
They're not really big on crystals. They want metal.
I thought they ate magic as well.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought they also consumed magic.
No, they collect magic because they have no innate magical abilities themselves.
Okay, gotcha.
But because they are intelligent enough to use magic.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this would wreck a steampunk civilization as well, and I really...
Oh, yeah.
Again, this would be the world-changing plot device very easily.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing a game in Eberron, Rust Dragons are Cataclysm-level entities.
Yes.
Or have the potential to be that powerful.
So far, we're 2 for 2 for World Enders.
So, next on the list are Hellfire Worms. These are ones that I've always wanted to use. I've found it for the first time in Monster Manual 2 in 3.5. They are native to the 9 hells of Baator, but they're typically found on the material plane.
Okay.
And this might offend a few people, but they're basically the Heritage Foundation.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So they are described as masterful power brokers, manipulating people and events in subtle ways.
Okay, so they're chaos noodles.
Except that they're lawful.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can have lawful chaos.
They are lawful evil.
Okay, I like it.
Their agendas tend to involve sowing discord, steering leaders to engage in unjust conflicts, and to commit despotic acts against their own people.
Yeah, these are absolutely super PACs. These are lobbyists.
Yeah, these are the billionaires.
Yeah.
They are the billionaire class.
Yeah.
Because they use their wealth, knowledge, and persuasive abilities to entrench themselves into regional politics and will often assume multiple identities to peddle influence in multiple kingdoms at the same time.
They're not world enders, they're just assholes.
And so their preferred form, because they are able to shapeshift, their preferred form is that of a charismatic tiefling. Their ability lets them transform into a tiefling or into basically any devil.
Okay.
But yeah, obviously they're going to take the form of a tiefling whenever they're interacting with other humanoids. And they're known to assassinate anyone who discovers their true identity.
Well, I mean, they might see the man behind the curtain.
They have to keep up the facade.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I hate these things. They're evil.
Oh, yeah. They are lawful evil.
Oh, these are bastards.
They are from the plane of lawful evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're certainly fiery in nature. They are fire dragons. They have the immunity to fire, the vulnerability to cold, just like red dragons do. But they don't seem to actually be linked in lineage to red dragons in any way.
Interesting.
At least not that I was able to find.
Okay.
They may have initially come from red dragons. The fact that Tiamat is imprisoned on the first level of Baator suggests very strongly that she had a substantial influence in the creation of these dragons.
Understandable, yeah.
And she is the goddess of chromatic dragons, so red dragons are in that oeuvre, and so they are probably linked at that sort of common ancestry, or that common origin.
Okay. Chromatic, not chromatic.
Yeah. So they are covered in these long, bony spines. So they're just running all the way down from the base of their skull, all the way down to the tip of their tail, along their spine ridge. These massive, bony spines that just jut out. And their scales tend to shift in color, sort of representing like lava flows.
That sounds really cool. I still hate them.
Yeah. They have this constant wisps of smoke that sort of emanate from them, and they have that constant stench of brimstone on them as well. Because, again, they are creatures of the 9 hells.
Yeah.
So you have to have all of those sort of...
all the thematic elements.
Yes, absolutely. And because of their infernal nature, they have one breath weapon. It is a fire breath, but their fire breath is infernal flame. And because it is infernal flame and not just fire, half of the damage of that breath weapon ignores fire resistance.
Ooh, okay.
So if you have fire resistance, you're taking 3/4 damage and not half damage.
Now, is that considered a magical fire, or is it still a natural fire, just infernal?
It is not specified that it is magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance.
Okay.
The reason I mention that is because that does come up later with another dragon.
Okay. Just, I remember that was a big thing when we were doing our March Madness a couple years ago, was the,
Yes, it was. Yeah, that technically Dragon's breath weapons in 5th edition are not magical.
It is a natural fire.
It is a natural fire or natural lightning or whatever have you. They also have an ability that I think all dragons should have, and one that I think I will incorporate into my dragons in the future.
Okay.
And it's called Crush.
Sounds reasonable.
If a creature is at least 3 size categories smaller than them, so in this case it would be a medium or smaller creature, they can just land on them and attempt to crush them.
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, it's so just makes so much sense.
I smoosh you.
So why have we not had this? So if they get hit by this, in 3rd edition it was a reflex save, so it would be a dex save in 5th edition. If they fail that save, they take a chunk of bludgeoning damage, and then they get pinned. So the pinned mechanic in 3rd edition would be the equivalent of prone plus grappled.
Yeah.
In 5th edition. And then they take the crush damage again each round that they remain grappled.
Yeah, if any of our people have read the Dungeon Crawl Carl series, this is the smoosh skill.
Yes. They also have Frightful Presence, which they're a big scary dragon. They should have Frightful Presence. They have an Infernal Aura, which deals fire damage to creatures within 5 feet of them. So if you've been crushed, you're also taking fire damage. You're taking 5d4 fire damage every round on top of the crush damage.
Toasty.
Yeah. They have the ability to summon devils.
We call them lobbyists.
And they also have the ability to just yeet somebody. They can throw a grappled creature up to 100 feet.
Yeah, I still hate them. There's that. These suck. These are terrible, and they all should die.
Yeah, they are not nice in any way. They're cool to look at. The picture in the book is really cool to look at. I don't want to have anything to do with them.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too.
Yeah. And so the next one is a much shorter entry. I mean, unless we want to talk for a minute about how we would use a Hellfire Worm in a game.
Again, no, they're terrible. They're evil. Again, we should scrub them from the earth.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we have the Pyroclastic Dragon.
Awesome name.
Yeah, the first instance I was able to find of them was in the 3rd edition Draconomicon. They might exist somewhere earlier. I just haven't found it yet.
Okay.
So they are native to the bleak eternity of Gehenna. And Gehenna is these four infinite, quote-unquote, volcanic earth motes that sort of just float in the void.
Yeah.
There is no sun in Gehenna. The only light that you get in Gehenna is the glow from the magma flowing down from these volcanoes.
It very much looks like the planet Mustafar in Revenge of the Sith, yeah.
Except for the lowest level, the 4th layer, because that volcano is extinct.
That one's the frozen one, right?
That's the frozen one, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that one's... Gehenna was just nasty
It was
try
bleak.
and get through.
Yeah, that was really bleak.
That was one of the harder ones for us to go through.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. So if you go back and join us with we did our Modron markers and we did our planescapes, some of these more bleak realms, like they took a toll, even just covering and like Ian are like, dude, we need some chocolate or something after this, because like we were like, we do it and we're like, okay, I'm depressed now. What's going on?
Yeah, the one that surprised me on those though was Arcadia.
Yeah.
I was not expecting Arcadia to hit me as hard as it did.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's great for story building and the fact that they've built that up in a way that it can affect a person like that, but damn.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back to the Dragrons. So, as I said, Pyroclastic dragons are native to Gehenna. They are similar to Hellfire worms in appearance, except that they are much more elemental in nature and in appearance. They don't have all of these bony spines coming off of them. They don't have that sort of infernal element to them in their appearance. They are chunky.
Okay, I like these.
They are very much this sort of combination of fire and earth sort of thing, very much drawing from that volcanic inspiration.
Gotcha. These are going to have like Deathwing's look.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Blizzard team took inspiration from the artwork from the Draconomicon whenever they were putting Deathwing together.
It's not plagiarism, it's inspiration.
Yeah. It's recycling.
Yes.
So they have this sort of glowing red-orange skin topped with these darker sort of obsidian shiny black scales.
Okay.
So they do look like magma flows. They look like the lava that you would see in like Hawaii. where it's that glow with a black volcanic rock over it.
Okay, now going back to the Fellowship of the Ring, where they see the Balrog. While the Balrog was very bright and flashy looking, which I get because it was great for cinema, I would prefer to see the Balrog look something more like this, where you have points of its flesh cooling and reheating, and you got this like magma circulating through it.
Yeah, and to add to that effect, which it is something that you would get with the Balrog from the Lord of the Rings movie, because the Balrog's wings were like smoke, right?
Yeah.
That sort of black smoke. Pyroclastic dragons, their wings look like sheets of ash.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, they've got that sort of beige gray, almost like cement color going on. And they look like they're insubstantial, but they absolutely capable of lifting this dragon off the ground and having it fly completely normally.
Nice. Yeah, I would like to see one of these. These are much better than the previous entry, who will remain unnamed.
One of the things that they really enjoy is swimming in magma, because they can.
Yeah. I mean, if I could, I would.
Yeah. I mean, you can. It's just that it's going to end very quickly.
Yes.
And it will be very permanent.
Yeah.
And they make their layers in chambers of volcanic stone. So like the lava tubes.
Yeah. Which, if you were going to run a party through this looking for a pyroclastic dragon, because again, this does not sound like a world ender. This sounds like something very much that the party could go and eventually try to hunt. If you did your quote, your dungeon in something like this, you have to think of how those tubes are going to form. And so it would very much be like a network of caves and inlets and outlets. You could make a very complex dungeon out of this, which, I mean, you could have the party going through and this dragon like trying to track and hunt them if you didn't want to do it a hex crawl, which would be a very exciting way to set this up.
Yeah. Or you could do this as sort of a heist sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to do all of this undetected.
Oh, yeah.
Because if the dragon figures out that you're in there, they can swim in magma just fine.
Right.
It would not be above them, because they are evil. It would not be above them to just sort of breach a wall in their lair and let the magma in. Yeah,
and also if you were doing this would be a great way to redirect the party randomly. Like, if your party's starting to go off the rails somehow, and you need, a Deus Ex Machina type thing, then obviously this dragon has breached a wall, and you've cut off an area, and maybe they have to wait for that magma to cool, or they just can't access that area for a time or for forever to redirect your party. And again, with all of these, like, volcanic tubes, you could have them linked, and so like they have to pick one of 3 or 4 paths they're going to go down initially, but only one is the exit, but they're going to be a tangle otherwise or loop on each other. Like I said, you could do a lot with this.
Yeah. So they do occasionally make their way to the material plane. If they are in the material plane, they are living in a volcano. That is the only place you're going to find them.
It feels like home.
Yeah. The entry in the Draconomicon said they have, quote, all the subtlety of a volcanic eruption. They may simmer and hiss for a time, but when they erupt at last, their fury is unmatched.
I like it.
Yeah, they have the whole vibe of no nonsense. I am here, and you will soon not be.
Yeah. I'm gonna pet that dog.
Yeah. So they have 2 breath weapons, both of which are considered magical for the purposes of overcoming resistances.
Yay!
The first one is a pyroclastic cloud, which deals a big chunk of damage. Half of it is fire damage, and the other half of it is sonic damage in 3rd edition, which would be thunder damage in 5th edition.
This is the goal of every metal band ever.
Yeah. And then the other one is a line of disintegration. They basically have disintegrate as a breath weapon.
Nice.
The targets who save are unaffected. The targets who fail crumble away to ash.
Good old-fashioned save or die.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, and that's about it. I couldn't find them in an earlier edition. I'm sure that they probably are in an earlier edition, but that was the first entry and really the only official entry that I was able to find for the Pyroclastic Dragon was in the Draconomicon.
Okay.
And that's about all there is to them.
Nice.
They're just fiery, chunky boys.
Yeah, I mean, these are awesome.
They're very straightforward.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would like to see one of these on the table. And these are very accessible. Like I said, these aren't world enders. These aren't like plot devices. This is absolutely something the party could go and earn some XP with.
All right. That brings us to our last dragon of tonight. And this is the one that I was wrapping up my notes on this one whenever James and I got on the call to start recording tonight. And this has got to be the most metal dragon that I have ever encountered in D&D.
I kind of want to do a 3D model of this one.
So this is the Gloom Dragon, and Gloom Dragons are native to the Grey Wastes of Hades.
Okay.
They were first published in Dragon issue number 344. So that was like 2007, 2008, I think.
Okay. So fairly modern.
Yeah, they are a fairly new entry compared to all the other ones. And despite appearing undead, they're not actually undead.
They don't want to go on the cart.
They're just the representation of the apathetic loss of hope that just sort of pervades all of Hades.
We're tipping from metal to emo. We're getting there, but bear with us.
Yeah,
bear with us.
We come back. We come back. That is one of the things about Hades, is that all of the color slowly drains out of everything, and everything shifts slowly to grayscale, and you get this sort of lethargy and apathy, and you lose all of your passion.
Hades was another one of those very difficult episodes to do.
It was. So the cool thing about Gloom Dragons is that they have these plates that grow out of their spine that are shaped like tombstones, which bear the epitaphs of the victims they have eaten.
And it's got to be some snarky, super sarcastic epitaph. It has to be.
I mean, it can be.
Yeah.
I'm not writing all that snark, but you do you. And they are very unique in their appearance. Not just because they have literal tombstones growing out of their back, but because their head is not the common... It is not what you picture in your brain whenever you hear dragon.
It's not the reptilian draconic.
No.
Yeah.
Their snout is beak-shaped.
Okay.
And they have these, like, almost like black dragon, the forward curling horns. And the whole combination kind of makes it look like a vulture crossed with a water buffalo.
Okay. I am definitely online for this.
Yeah, it definitely has that vulture-shaped head. And that very hooked tip on that beak for tearing carrion.
I would absolutely give them, like, those goose teeth, too. Those sharp goose teeth that some geese have. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they are scavengers. I mean, you don't see that very often with dragons, especially these larger, more powerful dragons, but they are actually scavengers by nature. And they prefer to let other creatures kill their meals for them.
Why waste the energy?
Exactly. And because they live in Hades, and because Hades is the principal battlefield in the Blood War, there is no shortage of food for them.
Yeah.
They get to eat devils, they get to eat demons, they get to eat Yugoloths, they get to eat mercenaries. You know, they get their pick.
Life is a buffet.
Especially if you're a scavenging dragon.
Yeah, I like it.
So their preferred location to lair is in caves along the River Styx. So we're getting back to Styx now. Mainly because that's the closest proximity to where the food is going to be.
Yeah.
Because, again, the devils and the demons both utilize the fairies that the Yugoloths have to move troops in the Blood War. So they're going to be encountering one another near the river. And that's where the corpses are going to be. And that's where the dragon's going to eat them.
Okay. Bear with me. This is going to be... I don't know how to say it. This is going to be a little rough. But bear with me. So again, I'm thinking like these large transport vessels coming off. You have like all of the D-Day movies where they're showing, just the waste of soldiers on the beach because, they've encountered and they're trying to make a beachhead. And I would see this, and this is absolutely where one of these layers things would be because it'd just pop out and it'd be grazing across this field where either the devils and or the demons are trying to make a foothold and they're just trying to make this beachhead. And there's this huge slaughter that's constant, and this thing's just, like I said, popping out and grazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, because most objects tend to lose their luster in Hades, like I mentioned, everything sort of shifts it into that grayscale, and it loses its sheen and all of that. They prefer to hoard powerful magic items, especially artifacts.
Understandable.
Because an artifact is the only thing that is going to have a strong enough magical aura to it to not be affected by the plane.
Yeah.
To resist the influence of the plane.
Okay.
They also have a large number of powerful, unique abilities because they're dragons and they live in Hades. And here comes some of the most metal stuff that we're going to get to. So for starters, they have an aura of gloom. So they have this miasma that sort of just wafts around them, this sort of pale green glow. And the emanation is 5 feet per age category. So as a hatchling, it's a 5 foot, and it gets up to a 60-foot radius as a great worm.
That's pretty rough.
Creatures that start their turn within the aura have to make a save versus fear, or they become shaken. So shaken in 3rd edition was just a -2 on all of your rolls.
Yeah, -2 to everything.
Attack rolls, skill checks, ability checks, and saving throws. So yeah, everything. Just a flat -2 to all of your stuff. For 1 round per age category. So up to a maximum of 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And the effect does not end early if you leave the aura.
That's rough. That's harsh.
Yeah, it has to run the entire duration. You don't even get a second save to end it early.
Just hope for a juvenile and keep running.
Yeah. The next one is their breath weapon. It is a cone of apathy gas.
That is an awesome... I want that breath weapon.
It doesn't deal any damage on its own, but everything in the area has to make a will save, which would be a wisdom save in 5th edition, or succumb to apathy for 1d6 rounds plus 1 round per age category. So up to a max of 1d6 plus 12.
That's, yeah.
Apathetic creatures are helpless, they take no action, and they do not defend themselves. That means that any attacks made against them are automatic critical hits.
Ooh. And now you do the crush.
And if an apathetic creature takes damage, they get to repeat the saving throw.
Okay.
That's how that one works.
Okay. No, I mean, that is a brutal breath weapon. I mean, that basically stun locks the party.
Yes. And, you know, if you have one person that resists and the rest of the party fails, then that one person has to go around and smack all of his teammates.
Yeah.
It's that slapping them in the face to get them to snap out of it. You know?
So far with this, I think it would be really interesting, again, if you wanted to put these on the board, because these are brutal. These are definitely going to be for higher levels, but even if you were 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-ish, and you come across or you have to fight a clutch of hatchlings or a clutch of wormlings. So, you know, they've got 1 or 2 age levels on them, but there's like 3, 4, 5 of these things. So again, that aura is not going to do a lot because it'll wear off in 1 or 2 rounds, but there's a lot of them. Same thing with that breath weapon. There's a lot you have to deal with all at once. Doing, like I said, a wide board versus a tall board with these would actually be a very exciting fight.
Yeah. Doing it as like an adult and their clutch.
Oh, yeah. That definitely would be.
So the adult would be like the boss.
Yeah.
And the clutch would be the minions surrounding the boss.
Okay. Depending on how old the adult was, though, I mean, that might be like still not quite a worm. Ooh,
no,
yeah.
I mean, so an adult would be
4.
I think adult is 6 in the 3rd edition one.
It's hatchling, wormling, juvenile, adult, I think.
In 5th edition, yes.
Okay.
In 3rd edition, it's wormling, very young, juvenile, young adult, adult. So adult is number 6.
What would be the CR on this thing?
So the CR on an adult Gloom Dragon. They also have spell resistance. I missed that.
Of course, yeah, just because.
So an adult, that doesn't seem right. An adult Gloom Dragon is CR 11.
Yeah, that makes sense. Again,
I guess it is 3rd edition. So yeah,
it's 3rd edition.
So.
You've got that huge aura, and you've got that breath weapon. I'm sure that's a 15 or 16 wisdom save for the apathy.
So for the breath weapon, DC 25.
Yeah, you're not saving that.
But I mean, again, that's a 3rd edition.
Yeah.
So that would be the equivalent of like a DC 16 in 5th edition with bounded accuracy, thereabouts.
Maybe. Still,
Yeah, it would be in that ballpark, DC 16.
Yeah. So,
which I think is reasonable for a CR11.
Yeah, that is reasonable. But again, that's an adult could squish a party pretty easily. So I think an adult with a bunch of wormlings on top of it might be, unless you were high level or had a huge party, might be too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. But very fun. I want to do it. Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes. This is where Fireball is the answer.
Yes, we have a Halloween game. Let's do it.
Yeah, you nuke it from orbit.
Yeah, it's the only way to be sure.
All right, so 2 more things on this one before we wrap up. The next one, the super metal one, is that they have something called eternal consumption.
Yes.
So when they eat the corpse of a creature that is at least 2 sizes smaller, a new tombstone grows on their back. To eat that corpse takes 10 rounds minus 4 rounds per size category smaller than the dragon.
Okay.
So to a minimum of 1 round. So it would take an action to eat the corpse of a creature. Any creature eaten in this way can only be resurrected by a wish or a miracle spell, a carefully worded wish or miracle spell. And miracle was the cleric equivalent of wish in 3rd edition.
Yeah.
Followed by a resurrection spell, but only after the Gloom Dragon was dead.
This is as close to permadeath as you're going to get.
Yeah. You get knocked to 0 and eaten by a Gloom Dragon. You
just
go ahead and
just
roll up. Yeah, roll up a new character, because the sequence of events required to bring your character back from the dead
is not happening.
Probably not.
What level is Resurrection? Is that?
I think it is a 7th level spell.
Yeah.
I know it's a 7th level spell in 5th edition, because True Resurrection is a 9th level spell.
Yeah, you gotta cast a 9th level spell and a 7th level spell after slaying the dragon.
Yeah, after killing this dragon. Now, with that in mind, that would be the adventure hook.
Yeah.
Is that there was some adventurer that got eaten by a Gloom Dragon, and we really need them for this thing.
And you've got 2 scrolls?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this would be that high level, that 18, 19, 20 level adventure group. This would be that high level campaign group.
Yes. Do you know what would be absolutely evil?
What?
They sit there, they get there, they slay the Gloom Dragon, they're getting ready to cast their spells, and then they get splashed by the Styx Dragon. And they forget why they're there.
That would be bad. They are within close proximity of the river.
Like, hey, I've got these 2... I've got a wish scroll? Holy crap. And you have no idea why you have it, you just have a wish scroll in your hand.
Yeah. That would be like if we were to do a 20th level one-shot.
Yeah.
That would be how we ended it.
Yes.
Is you finish all of the combat and you're getting ready, and then the river happens.
Yes. Oh, God.
And you forget why you were there.
Oh, that'd be a hell of an ending. Ooh.
All right. And then one last thing for the Gloom Dragon before we wrap up. They have something called a wasting bite. So, in addition to taking normal bite damage, if you get hit by the Gloom Dragon's bite attack, you have to succeed on a Fortitude save or Constitution save in 5e, or contract Grey Wasting.
Ooh.
And Grey Wasting deals 1d4 points of Charisma Drain.
Bye-bye. That kind of reminds me of, like, if I recall correctly, it kind of reminds me of the Grey Scale from the Ice and Fire books. It kind of like, was that like solid / goopy, like open weeping sore type thing.
Yeah, it does have that sort of vibe going on with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the image, because you can find scans of Dragon Magazine 344 online, and the image of the Gloom Dragon in that magazine is really cool looking. And
I'm looking this up now.
It's on page 26, I think. 36, sorry. Page 36.
I saw one that just made it like a chunk chibi looking thing.
No, this one is very much gaunt. It looks like a scavenger.
Ooh, okay. Yes. Yeah, I like this thing. Oh, that looks like, what is that? Oh, that looks like something else. I can't think of the creature. It kind of looks like some of the creatures from Dark Crystal almost. But
Yeah, the Skeksis.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Yes.
Yeah, that was my first thought too. Is like it is evocative of the Skeksis.
Okay, yeah, I love this thing. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
All right, so that's pretty much going to wrap us up for tonight. That is the first 5 planar dragons that we're going to be talking about. I am looking forward to the next episode. There's one in Carcerai, there's one in Pandemonium, and there's 3 in the Abyss.
Huzzah.
Because of course there is.
Chaos, woohoo.
So, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. If you have any comments, suggestions, or ideas, please send us an email, undercommontaste@gmail.com, or you can come join us on our Discord. You can find a link to the Discord on our website, undercommontaste.com. I need to get some moderation going on because we've had a couple of spammers showing up lately.
Yeah.
And I need to nip that in the bud before it gets bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, through our website, you can also find links to our Patreon, patreon.com/undercommontaste, and our itch page, undercommontaste.itch.io.
This is your first time listening. We're very happy you found us. You can find our other deep dives onto dragons, as well as our other homebrews, our planescapes, all of our past episodes. Just search Under Common Taste on your podcatcher of choice, and we'll pop right on up. As always, give us a rating and review. This helps increase our visibility and lets us know what kind of content you want to hear.
I'm still trying to decide if we're going to do another dragon episode for next time, because we do have another actual play in the works for Halloween. It is a spooky one-shot. We are going to be playing Wraithhound by Caesar Capacle, and it is a sort of a ghost hunter solo game, and I think is going to be really cool.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be fun.
It is certainly going to be more cinematic than Reap was. I don't think we did a very good job of making our Reap playthrough cinematic.
Yeah, but I mean, I enjoyed it though. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was fun. It was a lot of fun to play. I don't know how much fun it was to listen to.
Fair.
So this one should be a little more cinematic by its design. And yeah, I am really looking forward to playing that because James is going to be in charge of running it and I am going to get to play and neener.
Say it with me, chaos, woohoo.
Indeed. I'm still trying to decide. I think, looking at my calendar, no, I think we're going to be doing Wraithhound next because the next episode will be in November already.
Yeah.
After that one. So, yeah. So we're going to do Wraithhound next time, and then we'll be back with the other evil planar dragons.
Perfect.
After that. So stay safe, everyone, and we will see you again in 2 weeks.
Happy gaming.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Under Common Taste. Our theme song is Massacre Anne, written and performed by Mary Kroll and used with permission. You can find Mary online at marykroll.bandcamp.com or on Patreon at patreon.com/Dr. Mary C. Kroll. Our logo is by David Sutherland. You can find more of David's work on deviantart.com/David Sutherland or on instagram.com/Willex_73. We'll be back in 2 weeks, so stay safe and we'll see you then.